I now request Mr. Ajit Nimbalkar to deliver the welcome address.
Friends, welcome to the 27th Lalit Doshi Memorial Lecture. It is 27 years since Lalit passed away. And coincidentally, Lalit was in service for 28 years, from 1966 to 1994. Though so many years have passed away, the fragrance of his simple and friendly nature as a person and selfless service as an administrator still remains. After Lalit passed away, we formed the Lalit Doshi Memorial Foundation. Basically, his family, his colleagues, and all his close friends came together to form this trust. And they have been doing various activities. First of all, there is the award ceremony which takes place every year. Earlier it used to be WISCOMP, now it is MIDC, where performance of promising young industrialists is recognized and felicitated. And then Lalit School, New Bharda School, as well as his college, St. Xavier's College, organize certain competitions. Awards are given for that. Awards are given for excellent academic performances through the foundation. The foundation also gives help to the needy students and those who are doing good work. Earlier, the trustees were close friends of Lalit, and so we had particularly certain close persons like Arun Bongirwar, Mr. Bam, Prabhakaran, etc., who were active on the foundation. Unfortunately, during the course of years, they have passed away. They are replaced by other colleagues, and the activity goes on. The main activity, of course, is this Lalit Foundation lecture, which takes place in the month of August every year. We've had a distinguished line of speakers on various subjects for this lectures series. It started in 1994 with Mr. Wagul, the then chairman ICISI, who spoke on spirituality and modern life. After that, various different subjects were covered. Subjects like economic reforms, corruption, terrorism, nuclear energy, foreign policy, climate change, judicial activism, etc., were covered in these various subjects. And we had a distinguished line of speakers also. We had heads of financial institutions and industries. We had eminent economists, scientists, ambassadors, even ministers and parliamentarians, judges of the Supreme Court, civil servants, senior police personnel, educationists, almost all walks of life. Hence, the quality of these lectures has been so eminent that various persons look forward to the organization of this. Earlier, we used to organize it at YB Chavan Hall, and that was, of course, a meeting point also for all persons. But due to the pandemic, this has been discontinued. Let us hope that next year we again meet at YB Chavan Hall for the lecture. At most of these lectures, there was also the question and answer series, and people could participate actively in this. Lalit had a host of admirers and friends in all walks of life. most of us gather during this year at the event of the lecture to pay homage to the memory of Lalit and also to learn something new on the subject that is on the agenda. But over the years, young people who did not know Lalit have also been joining in these lecture series, and they have participating not only because of the subject concern, because of the speaker who's delivering the lecture, but they're also inspired by the life of Lalit Doshi. I would therefore like to, for the newcomers, to briefly speak about Lalit. I knew Lalit personally since 1959, when we were in college together, St. Xavier's College. 1959 to 63, 4 years we were in the college. Same year, there's also Vijay Nambiar, who is amongst the panelists here. Vijay and I were political science students. Lalit was economics student. Professor R.K. Hazari was his teacher, who was very fond of his student. And after graduating from the college, the three of us went on to do our post-graduation MA in the University of Mumbai. Again, Vijay and I did it in political science, Lalit did it in economics. And after doing our post-graduation, the three of us appeared for the UPSC exam. Vijay, of course, Nambiar went to the Foreign Service and had a distinguished career in the IFS, later on with the United Nations also. Lalit and I were in the IS, and we were allotted to Maharashtra cadre. Lalit served in various capacities. He, of course, did his usual district administration, but his main foot was in industries. And he worked in WISCOMP and MIDC, later on as Secretary Industries also, and at the Government of India in the Ministry of Petrochemicals. But it is not only industries that is involved. He also worked in two different areas, which were at that time comparatively new for the administration. He worked for the Employment Guarantee Scheme. This was introduced in Maharashtra for the first time, in the country for the first time, in fact, in Maharashtra, under the stewardship of Mr. Page, who was then the chairman of the Legislative Council. Lalit assisted him in the secretariat level. This was basically on the lines of the scarcity measures that were taken during the famine days. This was so successful that it was emulated by the Government of India also at the central level, and the National Rural Employment Scheme was envisaged on the lines of the Maharashtra pattern. Also, during the emergency, when the Urban Sealing Act was introduced, this was for the first time that was there. In some ways, it was a harsh act. It was repealed later on. But in spite of all the hurdles that were there, Lalit tried to implement it as far as possible in the interest of all the persons, in the interest of people who would need of land, in the interest also of the landowners. He tried to implement it truly and tried to help as many people as possible. In industries, of course, he made his mark initially at the MIDC, and later on he went on to Government India Petrochemicals, came back and took over WISCOMP, and after WISCOMP he took over as Secretary Industries also, in which capacity he had gone to Davos. What were the main qualities of Lalit? I would emulate about 5 of them, definitely. First of all, he was, of course, very intelligent. He had sympathy for the common man. He put in a lot of hard work. Okay? Whatever he did it with his entire strength and put his soul into it. Okay? But he was also an excellent team worker and an excellent leader of the team. When he was a part of the team, he mixed with everyone, followed the lead, and as a leader, he carried on all people along with him. His favorite word was partner. Partner, come on, let us do this, etc. about it. He was always helpful and had a genuine desire to solve problems. He didn't have a no answer about it. He tried to find out a solution and help the person as much as possible. He was, whether it was a big industrialist or a class 4 employee or a landless person, peon, driver, he helped everybody with that. In his approach, he was always development-oriented, effort to improve the living of the common man, remove obstacles as far as possible. In administration, there is a tendency to say no easily. That is a quick way out. You don't have any problems if you say no about it. But if you say yes, then there are various issues that may come up. There may be inquiries, etc. But he was never afraid of that. He went on to with a positive approach and tried to help as much as possible. Lastly, he was always receptive to new ideas, new techniques of working. But technology underwent a change, but he adapted himself to that and tried to make it as much friendly as possible. His memory still remains about that, and today many of his works are continued by his successors, and we remember him at this time, particularly the Lalit loyalists gather to pay his homage, and I hope the new generation will also get inspiration from him. Today, we have an eminent educationist, Dr. Meenakshi, who speak on higher education, and I'm sure all of us are looking forward to her speech. Thank you.